In a bold and unexpected interview, basketball icon Cheryl Miller breaks her silence, and she's not holding back. With powerful words and unmatched insight, Miller responds directly to Sheryl Swoopes' controversial remarks about rising superstar Caitlyn Clark. What follows is not just a defense, it's a powerful takedown that challenges the negativity and calls for unity in women's basketball. Cheryl sets the record straight, silences the hate, and puts the spotlight back where it belongs, on talent, growth, and the game itself. Get ready for sharp truths, emotional moments, and one of the most talked about interviews in women's basketball history. Swoops Criticism. In a powerful and unexpected moment, Cheryl Miller has finally broken her silence on the criticism aimed at Caitlyn Clark by WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes. Known for her leadership on and off the court, Miller didn't hold back as she addressed Swoopes' recent comments. While Miller has long been respected for her diplomatic and respectful tone, this time she took a firm stand. She called out the unnecessary negativity and pointed out how such remarks only divide the game rather than elevate it. According to Miller, athletes like Caitlyn Clark deserve credit for what they bring to the sport, not baseless backlash. Her message was clear. Progress in women's basketball requires unity, not gatekeeping. The Hall of Famer emphasized the importance of celebrating emerging talent and building a supportive legacy, rather than tearing down the next generation. Cheryl's message has resonated with fans, athletes, and commentators across the sports world. It's not just a defense of Caitlyn Clark, it's a bold stand for what the future of women's basketball should look like: empowering, inclusive, and without double standards. This moment may go down as a turning point in the conversation surrounding Caitlyn Clark's rise. Why Cheryl Miller thinks Swoopes is threatened by Caitlyn Clark. In her recent interview, Cheryl Miller didn't mince words when addressing why Sheryl Swoopes seems to have a problem with Caitlyn Clark. According to Miller, Swoopes' behavior comes off as territorial, as if she's threatened by a new star who's capturing the spotlight. Miller explained that while it's understandable to feel protective of your legacy, true legends uplift others instead of tearing them down. She pointed out that Caitlyn Clark isn't trying to erase the past. She's simply building her own future, and inspiring millions while doing it. Miller highlighted that Clark's impact on viewership, fan engagement, and even ticket sales has been historic. She brings attention and eyes to women's basketball in a way that should be celebrated, not criticized. Miller believes that jealousy or insecurity shouldn't cloud objective analysis, especially from someone like Swoopes who helped pave the way. Instead of viewing Clark as a threat, she said, veteran players should recognize the strength of the foundation they built and be proud of how far the game has come. Miller's honesty turned heads as fans praised her for being fair, insightful, and courageous enough to call out uncomfortable truths in defense of progress and unity in the sport. 3. The moment Cheryl Miller shut down Swoopes' arguments. During the now viral interview, Cheryl Miller delivered a calm but devastating rebuttal to Sheryl Swoopes' criticism of Caitlyn Clark. When asked about Swoopes' remarks suggesting Clark receives too much attention, Miller leaned in with a composed but razor-sharp response. She stated clearly, "Talent deserves attention. Period." Miller explained that Clark's achievements, breaking records, electrifying fans, and boosting WNBA visibility, are not the result of media hype, but of pure, undeniable skill. She reminded viewers that the goal has always been to grow the game, and Clark is doing just that. Miller then posed a critical question. Why diminish a player who's doing exactly what we hoped would happen for women's basketball? The moment was powerful. Her words exposed the fragility in Swoopes' arguments and shifted the entire narrative. Even seasoned analysts applauded Miller for her composure and clarity. She didn't resort to insults. She used facts, logic, and the truth of Clark's accomplishments. For many fans, this was the moment Cheryl Miller officially shut down the backlash. It wasn't just a defense of Caitlyn. It was a mic drop that underscored how legends should behave, not by gatekeeping greatness, but by recognizing and encouraging it when they see it. 4. How Cheryl Miller defended Caitlyn Clark's record-breaking career. Cheryl Miller passionately stood behind Caitlyn Clark's record-breaking journey, making it clear that the young star has earned her place in history. In the interview, Miller acknowledged that she's watched Clark's development closely and is nothing short of impressed. She noted Clark's court vision, shooting range, and leadership as unmatched among today's rising stars. But beyond stats, what truly impressed Miller was Clark's composure in the face of constant criticism. Miller emphasized that Clark didn't ask to be the face of women's basketball. It was her performance that demanded it. Miller listed the records Clark had broken in both NCAA history and early in her WNBA career, pointing out how rare it is to see such consistent excellence. She urged fans and former players to focus on Clark's undeniable work ethic and passion, rather than trying to discredit her because of her popularity or the color of her skin. Something many believe plays a subtle role in the backlash. Sheryl didn't just defend Caitlyn Clark, she honored her journey. In doing so, she encouraged the basketball community to rally around greatness wherever it appears, and to recognize that Caitlyn is not replacing the legends. She's becoming one of them. 5. Caitlyn Clark's impact on women's basketball. According to Cheryl Miller made it clear, Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's changing it. In her interview, Miller described Clark's influence as a cultural moment in women's sports. She highlighted how Clark has sparked massive viewership surges, sold-out arenas, and social media buzz rarely seen in the WNBA. According to Miller, Caitlyn is bridging the gap between college and pro basketball like no one else. She explained that Clark has brought in new fans, including young girls, NBA followers, and even those who never watched women's basketball before. Miller called this the type of breakthrough the league has been waiting for. But it wasn't just about fame. Clark's game speaks for itself. Miller praised her range, pace, and basketball IQ, calling her a complete player. She noted that Clark's success is a sign that the sport is growing, and fast. Instead of criticizing the spotlight she's earned, Miller argued that the community should celebrate it. She urged everyone to recognize that Caitlyn is not the enemy of progress. She is the proof of it. For Miller, Clark represents a new era, and the smartest move is to support that growth, not stand in its way. 6. Why Sheryl Miller believes unity is key for women's basketball. In her thoughtful response to Sheryl Swoopes' comments, Sheryl Miller stressed the urgent need for unity in women's basketball. Miller believes that this is a pivotal time for the sport, a moment when the spotlight is finally here, and the world is paying attention. She argued that now, more than ever, the women's basketball community must come together rather than tear each other apart. Miller explained that Caitlyn Clark's rise should be seen as a victory for everyone, not a threat to the legends who came before her. She reminded her audience that progress in sports is a shared journey. Every great player builds on the legacy of those before them, and in return, paves the way for those who come after. Miller cautioned against infighting and jealousy, which only serve to undermine the momentum the sport has gained. Unity isn't just a feel-good slogan, she said. It's the foundation of long-term success. Her message was powerful. Lift each other up, celebrate new stars, and never forget that when one woman wins in this game, we all do. For Miller, defending Caitlyn Clark wasn't just about one player. It was about protecting the future of the sport she loves. 7. Sheryl's final message to Swoops, fans, and the basketball world. As the interview wrapped up, Sheryl Miller delivered a final message that echoed far beyond the studio. Addressing Sheryl Swoopes, Miller said, "We all have a responsibility to leave the game better than we found it." She wasn't angry. She was focused, respectful, but firm. Her message to Swoopes was simple. Stop tearing down today's talent and start building them up. Because for Miller, defending Caitlyn Clark wasn't just personal. It was a statement for every young girl who dares to dream. Sheryl Miller's message was loud and clear. Greatness should be celebrated, not resented. Her defense of Caitlyn Clark wasn't just about one player. It was about protecting the future of women's basketball. As legends clash and the sport continues to evolve, Miller's words remind us all what really matters: growth, unity, and legacy. Whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering the game, this interview proves that change is here, and it's powerful. Let's lift up our stars, embrace the future, and honor those who speak truth with courage. Because when women support women, the whole game wins.